Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to those who elect you in this word and truth and in sincerity. All right, I'm Brother Awalam from the GMS West Palm Beach Camp. I'm back with another lesson. Through the Spirit, I was revisiting the book of Exodus. Being that the Passover is only a couple of days away. And those of us that are familiar with, that read the scriptures, were familiar with, the story of how the Lord delivered our forefathers out of the land of Egypt. During that time, we were being heavily oppressed by the Egyptians, which were so-called melanated people, So, they were dark-skinned people, So, as we were being oppressed, matter of fact, we can go to the first chapter, Salakia. Yeah, a certain point I want to get here. Barakat Shemoshan. It's a certain part I want to get when it talks about the Lord heard our cry. Right here, verse 23. Exodus 2:33, and it says, "And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto the Most High by reason of the bondage." You see? Their cry came up to the Most High. And that's likewise what's going on right now. The cry of the elect, is going up to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says, "And the Most High heard their groaning, and the Most High remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And the Most High looked upon the children of Israel, and the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, had respect unto them." So even in today's time, Jake is groaning. Even 2/3 of our people, they're groaning. Jake is wicked out there, but Esau is oppressing them too. Jake is groaning, but the thing is, the Lord is going to have mercy on the elect in this time. Okay, because the cries of the elect are those that are turning to him sincerely, are the ones that he's going to deliver out of here. Because the thing with Jake in the world is that they're groaning, they're crying, but they're not crying to the Lord. They're crying to Esau for help. Okay, whereas the elect, their cry is going on to the Lord. Let's go to 2 Ezra 15 and verse right here. I can start from verse 5. But it says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." So just as Jake was crying in ancient Egypt because of the hard bondage, the hard labor, the Egyptians had been going through, all right, the souls of the righteous, all right, beginning with the elect, is crying unto the Lord, because of the wickedness going on here in this time, the wickedness being perpetrated by the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, See, hey, this devil, has excelled the ancient kingdoms in wickedness. So it's like, the whole earth, the earth is mourning. The scriptures talk about how the creation groaneth, all right, and waited for the manifestation of the sons of God. You see that? So everything's just waiting for this man to be taken out of power, But it starts with, the Israelites being set in power, beginning with the elect, beginning with the Yahushua and his elect. Okay, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse, and reading the book of Exodus again, it reminded me what Yahushua's sacrifice means, man. All right, because when you keep reading that, because I'm currently at the 8th chapter, and Lord, well, I'm gonna keep going, when you read that, the blood that was put on the doorpost, all right, to stop that death angel from well, let me put it like this: the blood that was put at the doorpost, all right, that signified Yahweh's blood, all right, that signified that house being covered by the mercy of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So anybody who did not have that blood on their doorpost, all right, hey, that was it for you. You were cooked. So likewise in these times, you know, you want to be covered by the blood of the Lamb, or the blood of Yahushua. Okay? But this is Jeremiah 16 and verse 14, and it says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. You see? That brought up the children, because when you read the book of Exodus, you will see the great wonders that the Lord did for the children of Israel. You know, turning water into blood, all right, the plague of locusts, and the ultimate plague, which was the death of the firstborn of every Egyptian, man. Okay? After that one, they had to let, Pharaoh had to let the children of Israel go after that one. So the Lord's going to do something, miraculous in these times before he delivers his elect, are from the hand of Esau, Edom. All right, the Lord's going to do something big, man. Because the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said he don't change. You know? Just like how he magnified his name back then, or during that time. Like, because when he delivered the children of Israel from Egypt, the wonders that he did during that time period, that was major. It wasn't something small. So how much more in the time where we live in that now, where Esau is at his height. Esau is at the height of his power, and, it's like nobody can take him down. Well, the Lord is going to show greater power than what he gave to Esau, man. Because looking at it with the naked eye, you would think that Esau cannot be taken down, but Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is getting ready to take this man down, man. All right. Verse 15 said, but the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of Egypt, from the land of the north, Salakia, slip of the tongue, from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. You see? So we're not in our own land right now. All right, we're in the land of our bondage. That's why the Lord referred to, all right, America, all right, as Sodom and Egypt. Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. You see? This place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Sodom because we ain't even got to tell you, Sodom. Of course, if you don't know, of course, we have to tell you. Sodom because of the homosexuality that goes on here in America, man. All right? You got trannies everywhere. You got all kinds of, wickedness going on everywhere, man. So that's why Sodom. Read in the book of Genesis why the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And that'll tell you why the Lord is going to destroy Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay? Egypt, it says, for Egypt, it's because we were in hard bondage, in the land of Egypt. And likewise, you see the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans serving hard bondage, man. All right, you see the Northern Kingdom, Issachar, doing landscaping work. And it be hot as hell out there, man. Like, that ain't no light work that Issachar doing. Cutting bushes and, hand cutting. Like, if you were out there and you saw Issachar, doing landscaping work, you would be like, these are the Israelites that were in the land of Egypt. They're using like the little scissor things. I forgot what they call them, but it's just they're detailing the bushes and all that shit. I'm like, you would think that these people were in slavery. You know what I'm saying? But and Levi too, because Levi and Issachar, they're the ones doing the landscaping work. Of course, they're getting paid to do so, but it's all the same thing. They should be getting paid way more than whatever Esau's paying them to do that kind of work. Because Esau not willing to do it. It'd be hot out there. You see? And it says Egypt, because a lot of things do go back to Egypt. Here in America, let me think of one thing. If I'm not mistaken, the obelisk that they got here in America, that goes back to Egypt. And that's just one of the examples. Many other things go back to Egypt, man. The pyramid that you see on the back of the dollar, that goes back to Egypt. Like, many more things go back to Egypt. But I just go to show you how this is the modern day Egypt that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to deliver us from, when that appointed time comes. Okay? And that's pretty much the point. I just want to go through a quick lesson through the Spirit and power Yahweh Shem Shai. Because, once again, like the Passover is around, and pretty much we just want to be, Lord willing, covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai when that judgment come forth. Because, Lord willing, something may happen after the Passover. Something may happen after the Passover. But when it happens, we want to be covered, Cause people going to be bugging out here. People going to be losing their minds out here as to, what's happening, what's going on. And people are going to get caught up in that judgment. But once again, we pray that we're delivered from it, man. Okay, so, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to those for elect you in this word and truth and in sincerity. Until next time, I say shalom.